We only got so many chapters left and so long with JJK, and I guess JJ just said with every chapter that's coming, I'm about to make you feel every possible emotion I can think of, because who the hell expected this? We got a flashback of Gojo and Yuta during the Swiss training. I'm not gonna lie, tripped me up at first because Gojo had Yuta's facial expressions and vice versa. Like, this is low-key kind of cursed. This is the most bitch-made Gojo will ever look. But this flashback actually confirms things that were shown to us, but not the way we expected. Yuta didn't have Rika eat one of Sukuna's fingers to copy Shrine. Gojo told Yuta it wouldn't be as beneficial as it sounds. He would be able to copy the technique, but he wouldn't be able to analyze it as much as he possibly could. We also learned that with Yuta and Rika's copy technique comes with some technicalities. One of them being, if Rika eats a person's body part and that sorcerer is able to regrow or use RCT to heal the missing limb, the output of the curse technique will fall to 0. Which explains why using Sukuna's finger wouldn't have been a good idea, because Sukuna used RCT all the time through this gauntlet, including the Gojo fights. So by the time Yuta would have jumped in to fight Sukuna, the cleave surprise add wouldn't have been as effective as we would have liked it to. Gege loves adding little details in the curse technique to make them stand out and be as different as possible, almost characterizing the techniques themselves. The second component of the copy process is that the stronger the technique, the more lethal the body part and the amount he'd gain. Inumaki and Hana both have their arms broken and they weren't going to be able to heal them, so he was able to use cursed speech rather easily and doesn't take too much of a toll on his body. While for Hana, he mainly used it for his domain so he can have a good short hit. And for Charles, he took a rib, which probably explains why he only used it once. How they gouged a rib out of his body, I don't know, but I have a good feeling Akari is not going to be able to give him that rib back. The idea of Sukuna and Yuji's resonance impacting their plans was interesting, although it really hasn't been a real obstacle either. Sukuna does know of certain sorcerers, what they're capable of doing, mainly because he was in Yuji, so he witnessed a lot just from his own eyes. However, the actual idea of a resonance hasn't been a real threat. Their cautiousness is why they give a lot of plans and details to Yuji moments before actually fighting Sukuna. Like Yuta telling Yuji he has Shrine because Gojo could see it with his 6 eyes. I'm so glad he saved all their plans for after or like during the fights and flashbacks, because doing all of this in like an arc or a mini arc would have took away a lot of the impact of some of the things that happen, and it just comes off as a surprise. It adds that unpredictability factor in JJK that really hasn't been there since Shibuya. So, well, one of the two big reveals is that Yuji's finger was used instead of Sukuna's for Yuta to be able to copy Shrine, which is how he got the cleave to work. And that's why he also got a little bit of training in it, so he knew how to at least pull it off a couple times. Which was dope, because even if you look back, when Yuji used RCT, he made sure not to regrow his fingers, which was a nice detail that I didn't even think about based off of last chapter, because I was clueless as to what the hell was that missing finger was. I'm like, I know this is a Sukuna finger, but I could have sworn Yuta ate it. So now it all ties together as to why Yuji never healed his fingers, and because I remember people was asking about those details, like why was that never taken care of. One of the major strategies of taking down Sukuna, or at least leading into taking him down, has in fact been multiple fake outs, making him think about things that he wouldn't really anticipate. Even with the whole thing with Toto, like Toto had to fake out and just trick Sukuna so many times just to get Yuji and him open for blows. Gakuganji and Utahime are looking on at the finger because they can't destroy it. They're just talking about how durable it is and that there's a binding vow placed in it, and they're just letting the curse technique pass through and just not to bother with it. Except the most shocking thing to happen in this entire manga happened. I will automatically admit that I'm wrong. I thought she was gone. I'm thinking it is way too late in the series to bring her back. It's probably over. Maybe Gege just left it open, but he wants you to think that she's gone. Nope. We actually get Nobara Kugisaki back in the story, and definitely playing one of the bigger parts in taking down Sukuna. I can't remember who, because a lot of people pointed out that Sukuna is actually weak to resonance, so it would actually be very useful if she was there, because she could just do resonance on its finger and attack him in his soul. And whoever put that out there, they're definitely eating good, because this was correct. She came in. Apparently she's been in a coma this entire time since October, and boy, I mean, she came in off a 2-month coma and instantly just became one of the biggest assets in taking down Sukuna. Used resonance on the finger, goes straight to Sukuna. He takes huge damage from this, and Yuji sees it. Obviously, Yuji knows. He sees nails coming through. He knows exactly who it is. He look like my boy is looking like he's ready to cry right now because he is happy to know that Nobara is alive. And she's got the eye patch, which I'm glad to see, because I need to see that eye patch design, which fits her really well. It just sucks that we're not going to get that much longer with it. But Sukuna takes big damage. Yuji comes in, uses this mantle all across his body, creating an X, pretty much opening up like his heart, just so he can get a good lethal hit in. Closes in, he's dealing some combos on his head, blows back and forth. And Sukuna obviously know he is in dire need to heal or do something, because you can look at his face and he knows that his time is coming soon. But he also knows Yuji is nowhere near his best because he used RCT a lot, so his curse energy is probably low at the moment. But Yuji's just built different. That brother can still throw rights and lefts better than anyone in this series. He deals another 1-2 combo, but the time lag finally comes in, a divergent fist. Sukuna is stunned, he's looking on, he knows what's coming. Divergent fist leads into Yuji saying, Sukuna, it's time we end this cycle of curses. And a final black flash and the open wound of Sukuna in the chest, and he's definitely feeling everything of the black flash ×2 critical. He's looking like it's a wrap. So it does kind of suck knowing this is one of the 5 chapters left, but I gotta say, with Nobara coming back, it just kind of makes things feel like, okay, you were really about to just tie up a lot of loose ends that we at least possibly can. Because obviously, I don't think he's gonna be able to get into everything that was kind of either left open or never really fulfilled or completed. I still do have a little bit of hope that he's gonna try to finish Akari no Rame. Honestly, I don't even think he's gonna take a full chapter, because maybe, who knows, maybe it wasn't intended to be a full-fledged fight. Maybe it was just supposed to be a stall, which, I mean, it was obviously going to be a stall, but I don't know if we're gonna get like an actual meaning fight with Sakari showing some type of level up, or was it just, hey, he's just here to keep Rame away, because if she was there, all hell would have broke loose. I did really enjoy how Nobara and Yuji were like both opening up Sukuna, like making sure that his heart or something was exposed, so that way when Yuji does land a black flash, it's going to hurt even more, because this is the most pain Sukuna's ever been in. And with this black flash, and I believe that, I don't even know how many he's taken at this point. It's probably like 10 or 11 or something like that he's taken just from Yuji alone. This one has to be the last one. And one thing I've always been anticipating was, honestly, like, what is Sukuna's final words in the series gonna be? I don't anticipate it to be like a speech per se, but I'm always like, with Sukuna being on the brink of death, like, what would he think? Like, what would he say? Like, would he be like a worthy challenger? Someone beat me, like Yuji, I like something like I acknowledge you or something like that, or would he actually be like in just pure rage, like I was actually taken out by you? I'm curious to see how that's gonna go out, because I think with Sukuna dying, whatever he feels during death is going to do even more to close the book on his character, because I don't think he's gonna bounce back and do something else. I think that's done with. I do think Megumi will come back in the next chapter, or at least shown. I don't know how that's gonna work. Like, he's just gonna emerge from his body? Is he gonna like, is he gonna take over the form? Like, I don't know how that's gonna come about, but I really wish we could see his complete domain. That was one of the other things that if like we never see it, that's really gonna suck. But I mean, who knows? Maybe Sukuna does try something at the end, and then make me just like, hey, I got some shit for you. But there's also the thing of the Culling Games doesn't end unless Megumi, aka Sukuna, well, Sukuna in Megumi's body is dead. Geto's already gone, so you know that whole thing is done for. And I already know it's gonna be a hot topic on Twitter, probably already is. I haven't checked too much. It's like, oh, does Nobara's death take away Shibuya or everything that happened? No. Because for one, it was never implied that she was officially gone, at least in wording, compared to everyone else. And then we already know, like, the main reason people held out hope for so long that she was going to come back was because, for one, it wasn't confirmed. And two, Nita came in and he gave her that little pain relief thing with his curse technique, and it's kind of just been open-ended, like, hey, there's a chance that she can be alive, but it's not guaranteed. So anyone that's calling him Mickey, I mean, let's be honest, most of them can't even read anyway, so don't put too much stock in it. And then second, I mean, this literally does not hurt the story whatsoever, because if you care so much about the death toll, I mean, even if you still take Nobara out, there's a lot of characters that were taken out of the game, so take that as you will. Plus, there's like this whole like agenda with Nobara that I might just do in a short. I don't think it's gonna be worthy of a video, so I'm just gonna do it there that I kind of want to talk about. But regardless, this literally does nothing to hurt the story. It does add a cool thing to it. It's really just up to however you want to interpret it. Not saying that you have to enjoy it, but if you're gonna say this makes no sense, then never talked about the last chapter. But I mean, it was fucking amazing. I mean, I don't know what else you want me to say about it. I did enjoy the Yuji and Megami dialogue points. I thought that was cool, especially with Megami talking about Tsubiki and him wishing that she would be with someone like Yuji. I thought that was cool. And then anytime Yuji and Sukuna fight, I'm just looking at these panels and my only thought is, man, I need this animated immediately. But hope you all enjoy. We got 4 more chapters and then it's the end of JJK, at least for now. I'll let y'all in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace.